you got to be more positive about things, because the idea is, in the Christian ethic of things, is neighbors helping neighbors, not neighbors reporting on or making accusations, innuendos, or whatever, or taking all these actions that people are wanting to take. You know, when we first started this with the idea, I guess, for what had happened with code enforcement, it was for the protection of the citizens of this town, because we had properties that were abandoned, possibility infestation, okay, rodents, insects, whatever. So that was ground zero. That's where things started, ground zero. Again, I'm just going to repeat what I said at the meeting last week. The amount of money that was allocated in the budget to try to do that job was not enough money to cover what needed to be done. So as a result, we were more or less forced into contracting out for this particular code enforcement with an organization that was recommended to us from the central organization of government. And again, one underlying theme is Scottdale did not write the International Maintenance Code. Scottdale did not develop the UCC code, Uniform Construction Code. Scottdale was more or less forced into enforcement of all these codes by who? By the people in Harrisburg, not by the people who are sitting at this table. People who are sitting at this table, we are all more or less volunteers. We're elected into a position to represent people, but we're also here voluntarily. We're not paid politicians. None of us are. So our choices were, whenever these codes came into being from Harrisburg, from the state, was we either adopt the codes or adopt them with modifications, or we could let the state do that to enforce them. And I know, for an example, in the neighboring township, East Huntington, a particular business, I'm not going to mention any names, the state does all of their code inspections there, and it's not done probably as well. When I say as well, there might be exceptions everybody's taken to it, but it's a lot longer with a lot more red tape once you get Harrisburg involved. So I just want to say is, you got to be positive. You have to have a good, positive community with good Christian ethics. Okay, now I know there's other religions that will be in this community, and I accept that. But if you don't have those values, those core-based values, you're tearing this community apart. That's what's happening here. You're just ripping it apart.
Excuse me, may I say something very briefly? Very briefly. My name is Susan Brusky, 42 Fifth Avenue. I totally agree with you, I do. I own the candy store in town, and actually the building inspector now was not the building inspector time, it was Mark Stanton. These buildings they're hundreds of years old. New people take them over, and they're in such disrepair, it takes you years to fix them. It took me a year to do just the candy store. If you've ever been in there, it's not a large space. It takes lots of money, lots of time. And Barry knows for a fact how much hardship I had with Mark Stanton. I went to Barry. Barry, when we had to get higher powers in there because of Mr. Stanton. Barry came that day. He himself could not believe how wonderful that store looked like compared to what it did before. People lose faith because nobody does anything to help you. We struggled with Mark Stanton, even though we went to the borough, asked them, please do something. Nothing was done. So people lose faith. There are wonderful people in this town, wonderful people. They are trying to do stuff, but they just need to back off a little bit and understand that these buildings are hundreds of years old, and it doesn't happen overnight. We're not rich people. I'm not making a fortune selling penny candy and ice cream, but I love this town and I want to do something for this town. So that's what it is. People are losing faith in our council and in our town.
In the same line of what you just commented, said, as a representative for a ward that I represent along with Councilwoman Brown, and we touched on this at our last meeting, My phone number's in the book.
Yeah, but I'm not saying,
People can call me up. I'll
I
come
went
and
to
talk to
somebody who I knew, I've known Barry, been associated. So, I mean, he was my representative that I went to.
Mr. Ward, he is an employee of the borough. He's not an elected official.
Does, Andy, I mean, respectfully, does it really matter? I mean, seriously, aren't we all in the same community?
We are.
Working for the same thing?
We are in the same community, but
So
it's sometimes
because I
easy.
didn't come to you, nothing gets
No,
done?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
Doesn't make
it's
sense.
easier if there is a rapport with the officials. I mean, Mr.
Well,
Ward
I
has a
understand
lot of
that.
other business that he's doing, and I've had some residents and taxpayers that have come to me with issues that I did bring in front of this council. That's how it's supposed to
I'm not
work.
saying that you didn't, I respect you saying that, but if I can't feel I can't go to anybody that's in this building or an elected official, that's a shame. If I can't go to Mr. Warwick, if I feel I need something, and I guess maybe he should have directed me to somebody else. But you know, maybe sometimes I'm not real political and all of this stuff. I went to who I felt comfortable with that I thought could do something for me.
That's fine.
So
The
that's
point
what we're losing faith.
the point that I'm making is a lot of this stuff is not helping at losing the faith. It's all negative stuff. It's
If
not
you beat
positive.
your head against the wall so many times and nobody helps you, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do?
You can still come and talk to people. Nobody's ever come and
I talked
approached
to
you.
who I felt would help me.
I thought I did because I remember I arranged a meeting with Mr. Stanton. We actually
Yeah,
come up to
finally
the
you
property.
did, but you also.
But I did. I was
but
left
you
out of the
also-
loop.
I just hate to say it. I mean, I don't wanna make this long, but when we were there talking to you, you actually called Mr. Stanton and said, oh, they have a problem. You wanna talk to him? And you handed the phone instead of, and that, let me tell you, he was furious. He was furious.
I don't recall that, I'll be honest with you. My recollection was when I came back from vacation in June of 2008, there was a message on my phone that John had an opportunity to meet with Mr. Stanton. The way the discussion went, that he had met with you previously and told you these were certain things that were needed before he would issue the occupancy permit. And then when he came back, you had
But if
indicated to
anybody pays
me.
attention to that thing, that went on for a year.
Additional.
He'd come back
Well, anytime
one
they
day and
involved
say
me,
it
I
was
got involved
electric
right away. I'll
report.
take exception.
That's not where I'm going with this whole thing,
Yeah.
because that's over with.
Yeah.
I
When
mean,
I'm
one day it
involved,
was
I'll be more than
electric
glad to
report,
take
then the
involved,
next
but
time you
that's
come
not
back,
gonna
it
do
was
that.
something else, then it was something else. It wasn't a list of what needed done. All I'm trying to say is, this community is losing faith.
Mr. President. Thank you.
The mayor would like to make a comment.
Okay, Mayor.
Mr. President, I sit here and listen to this, and I have to support Mr. Pinsky, Councilman Pinsky. I think we need to learn to work together. And I take exception to some of the remarks made when someone makes a remark that the Protection Committee is tainted. I'd like to have an explanation of that, because I disagree with that. We work hard, we have plenty of meetings. Mr. Pinsky is the chairman of that committee. I support his decisions. We sometimes spend endless hours in these committee meetings. And it's not that we're looking for any applause, but we're also not looking for all this negatives. I think we need to learn to work together and find a happy medium or a middle ground instead of all this negative. It just, I still want to know what the word, whenever he makes a comment that the committee, the Protection Committee is tainted, I need an explanation of that. Because I disagree wholeheartedly. It's not. It's a good committee. We work hard. We work together. That's what this community needs. It needs more of that.
Mr. President, might I address something she said? Something everybody said. I've heard a lot of complaining, a lot of accusations, so on and so forth, about how bad this council is, and how bad this ordinance is, and that ordinance is. I hear it. I hear the complaint.